we start. So we're in the infield here now. So
the ball diamond.
Yeah.
Now, why did they pick this particular spot? Why St. Mary's?
St. Mary's, well, because we made a pretty good presentation, our approach to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, and there were there were 12 at the time. There were 12 municipalities that were vying for the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Toronto fellas were not that sure they wanted it to leave Toronto. They were trying to put it as a last resort in the Sky Dome. And so we thought, this will never work just housed in a building with a group of artifacts and memorabilia and so on, especially if you have to drive any distance to see it. What we need a baseball area. We need a baseball park and a museum and other things. I mean, this will all be walking paths and baseball statuettes and be a very educational kind of place.
And the first baseball game was played around here.
In Beachville. That was the first thing that we hung it on. And the second thing was
how far is
that well, it would be 30 miles perhaps. It would be a similar distance to London. And that was on the 4th day of June in 1838. That's why our target has been to open on the 4th day of June, 1998.
One is a site plan showing the location of the field, and the other is an artist's concept of what the stadium will look like itself. The first phase is developing the field, and over to most of your right is a stone house that you can't see for the trees, which will actually be the official home of the Hall of Fame until such time as the stadium is in fact built. We're here today to do a symbolic sod turning with the two inductees, Pat Gillick and John McHale. And I would ask Wilson if they would like to take a shovel. And
pretty solid ground.
Yeah, we're on solid ground.
That's right. 3 games that took place. You were there. Blue Jays won 2 and the Expos won 1.
Sorry, Escobar in the bullpen. So they made a really 3 good finds, and I think that finally Sean Green has validated the fact that he's going to be good.
The attendance is also a concern in Toronto.
Well, you know, we've gone through some tough times with the strike, and I think it's had an effect throughout baseball. Some areas more so than others. And I think it's going to take time to come back. I think they've got some young, exciting players. Maybe they're not going to reach 50,000, but I think we have eventually 35,000.
Why couldn't we return to 50,000 people?
Well, you know, I think that
Come back to the car, John. You're getting wet.
I think I'll head for the car.
Please.
And I think that has something to do with it. But I think
they're cropping up everywhere.
3.2.
Please remain standing for the national anthems of USA, sung by...
I want to read greetings from the Toronto Blue Jays, particularly from Paul Beeston, who was our former president and now the chief operating officer of Major League Baseball, Gord Ash, and all the players and management of the team. I've had the great pleasure of knowing both of these gentlemen for a very, very long time, and believe me, as well as great baseball men, Hall of Fame baseball men, they're great persons individually. Pat, as you know, built the Toronto Blue Jay organization up from the ground, and we had a tremendous run of great teams. culminating in the World Championship in 1992 and 1993, and Pat, we thank you for that. I want to also welcome Pat's wife Doris and family here today. And as far as John McHale's concerned, well, we go back a long, long time. John put together the Expos. He was in Montreal when I was running the Canadians. And John gave us some great, great baseball teams in Montreal, the Carters, the Dawsons, and all of the great players that we had. And I welcome Mrs. McHale and their family here today, and their grandchildren. And of course, it's a great pleasure to see John's family in baseball, carrying on the tradition. We're going through quite a battle now to stay ahead of John's son team. I don't know how it's going to end, but we're both neck and neck right now. Anyway, this has been a really wonderful afternoon, and it is so nice to see so many other friends and people who have been so closely connected with the Blue Jays and baseball. Peter Witherington, Don McDougall.
Just before Mr. McHale responds, I would like to call forward the chairman of our executive committee, Mike Thompson, and Doug Kelcher, the chairman of the board. They will say a few things, and they'll be assisting with the unveiling of the plaques, etc. So Mike Thompson and Doug Kelcher.
And in the hall, where we hope generations of Canadians and people to come will come and read it and remember the significant contributions that you've made to the game. Congratulations. Send your son to law school, 3 different law degrees, world economics, all those sort of things. Thank you, John. It was a wonderful presentation. I've unfortunately been a member of the Hall of Fame, the Cooperstown Hall of Fame, as a board of director for about 15 years. Always criticize those who are inducted as they make the speech too long. I could not criticize that presentation. Get a little closer. The interesting part of this is, it sort of reminds me that everybody always reminds of the story about Yogi Berra. But I've had my foot in the United States and one in Canada for so long, it reminds me of the speech he made recently to Montclair University when he was given an honorary doctorate of something. Looking for Yogi. And he said to the graduates, "You're going to come to a fork in the road. Take it." And that's the fork I took. I had a chance in the United States and in Canada, and it's been a great, great ride. I want to thank the committee. They've done such a wonderful job. Doug Kelcher, the special work that Ashley and Bob Barney have done, and all the other members of the committee. My partner for 50 years, Patty, and my son, and all of my daughters, and my 2 or 3 sons. And we've all had a big place in Canada, and now we've got Duncan and Francis and Will here. And I'm sure that someplace along the line they're going to have.
On behalf of the Board of Governors of the Baseball Hall of Fame and all baseball fans in Canada, it's a great day for us, and I'm sure it's a great day for you. And please reveal the plaque now, and it will hang for forever in St. Mary's as a testament to your ability. Thank you.
John and myself, is that I've always thought it's a shame to honor people that are no longer on earth. And I just thank God that you found time to honor John and I today when we still have the time to enjoy the honor. Thank you very much. You know, this is a wonderful day, and I feel very grateful and honored. I feel grateful that throughout my working life, I wanted to get up in the morning and go to work. And most of the time as a Blue Jay, I didn't even want to go to bed at night.
You know, building a baseball team is a marvelous challenge. It's exciting and exhilarating, especially when people that hire you to do the job trust you to do it well and let you do it with all the visions in the world. That does not normally happen in a sport today where egos are big and everywhere. Working in a city that has since become home and for an organization that became family made my years as a Blue Jay a real awesome experience. Not everything went as planned. We should have been champions really a few more times. The Blue Jays were the best team in baseball. The Blue Jays were the best team in baseball. 5 division champions, 2 World Series rings prove that, I think, but I still think that we should have won in '85. We had such a good team. Young, cocky, invincible. The loss in '85 to Kansas City, I think, broke a few hearts. And in fact, my wife still doesn't like Kansas City. Winning it all in '92 and '93 made up for all those disappointments. What a ride it was. A new fabulous stadium, a city that was baseball crazy, new attendance records, and a great all-star team. What made it even better, Toronto and the Blue Jays were finally on the map. We even got booed at Yankee Stadium. But seriously, people in baseball started recognizing the Blue Jays for what they were. A classy organization that took care of its people. An ownership that expected results but did not interfere. A farm system that produced talented players. Employees that were proud to work for the Blue Jays as an organization. We were held out to an example. And in fact, we're even being compared to the Dodgers. The ultimate praise. An organization that could promote from within, confident that they had good people. I want to thank Peter Hardy, who isn't here today, and Peter Woodrington for their guidance, confidence, and support. I want to thank Don McDougall and Ed Bradley for the initial idea to connect beer and baseball. I want to thank my friends here today, Elliot, Helene Wally, Don Welke, Wayne Norton, and my other family here, the Rapanos and the Nepos. The one good thing I could always depend on Norton and Welke as good friends was
here 3 letters I want to read you very quickly. Long before the movie Field of Dreams, Shel Krakofsky built his own field, complete with bleachers, on his farm at Kamoka, just west of London. Dr. Krakofsky, a physician, poet, baseball historian, and a great fan of the game, has won awards for his 2 books of poetry and 1 of prose from the League of Canadian Poets and the Canadian Authors Association. Ladies and gentlemen, here to add to our festivities through the reading of a sampling of his baseball poetry, Shel Krakofsky.
Honored inductees, ladies and gentlemen. Baseball is poetry by other means. I have written in the past that poetry is the most elegant distance between 2 lines. Today, I want to add that baseball is the most elegant game played between 2 lines. The game of baseball is a poem with at least 9 couplets. Sometimes they rhyme, sometimes they don't. It is that unpredictability, those skewed rhythms and symmetry that make poetry in baseball so compelling. Some 200 years ago, Samuel Taylor Coleridge said that poetry is the best words in their best order. Had he seen a professional baseball game, Coleridge might have proclaimed that it is about the best players in their best order. Like poetry, it is the pauses in baseball that lead to contemplation, to dreaming. It is what's going on between the lines, when nothing appears to be happening, both in baseball and poetry, that gives them both their unique charm, their mystical aura. Baseball is the only major team sport where the individual still counts. In baseball, the most civilized and purest of sports, it is not a projectile, a ball of assorted shapes, or a puck scores. It is the individual who ultimately scores and succeeds. And in scoring, how does that person succeed? By the most pristine and joyous of occasions, by arriving safely at the place called home. Got me getting the Gillet disease. Like a poet with words, a gifted pitcher can make a ball dance. The great ones actually throw the ball straight. The magic is they can make everything else move. This is a game of great tradition, of elaborate rituals and magisterial nuance. It is a sport that doesn't separate. It binds our games with our dreams. Let me share with you just a couple of poems about the game of our lives. This first one I wrote at the end of the 1993 baseball season. I went down to the ballpark, the local one in Kamoka, took a bat and a ball, performed a ritual, came home and wrote this poem. I don't know what Pat and all you Blue Jay fans were doing the next day, but here's what I was doing. Covenant in late October. On a first-name basis with mythology, I have romped with Babe, Mickey, Lily, and Sarah. Superimposed myself on past and present to swing with the elegance of Paul Molitor, glide with the insouciance of Devon White, steal home with Cracker Jackie Robinson. The best of these games postponed, alone I survey the fading diamond, still glittering with matted grass, golden leaves, and holy dirt. I hitch my pants with a nuanced aplomb of the deities, tip my cap to autumn, dig in for winter at the plate, unite a wooden cylinder with a horsehide coiled spear, and create a ringing, singing exclamation mark that lofts a white rainbow, high and deep. A covenant that binds me and my gods to return in spring. Here's a poem about making choices, and this is something that Pat and John have done their entire professional lives. Listen very closely for the very last line. Selecting a baseball mitt. Massage the pocket as gently as the nape of a cradled infant's neck. Pound the pocket until your palm stings with joyous pain. Soothed by the balm of lush, confident sound, a ball perfectly captured. Walk with it, run with it, in every direction, at all speeds. Feel the clutch of authority. Toss it to the heavens in triumph. Turf it to the grass in disgust. Prepare yourself for all emotions. Sniff the polished leather like a hunting dog. Paw at the webbing with love and lust. Control the tropism. Take your time. Buying a glove is the same as getting married. You only want to do it once. How many people, this is my last poem. How many people have wooden screen doors at home? Not that many. How many know what a wooden screen door is? I'm dedicating this poem to my late father-in-law, Min Suzuki, who built our screen door where we live in the country. It's called Wood Sounds. Baseball. Man's only other perfect creation is the wooden screen door, framing the flawless and seamless right-angled weave that allows fair air in and keeps foul pests out. No need for buzzers here. Your arrivals and departures announced only by the summer sentry clapping open and closed. Aluminum doors and bats reserved for artificial homes and turf. Children play baseball outside on grass to the chirp and buzz of spectator birds and insects. I hear a wooden sound, serenely unsure if it's the clean crack of a clean hit or somebody at the door.
Shel has a neighbor famous in Canadian baseball, one of the great players in the early half of the century, probably the greatest Canadian to play in that era, Mooney Gibson. Now, Mooney Gibson has been gone for a long time, but the graveyard's right beside Shel's farm, and there lies his tombstone. Mr. Gillick asked if he might come forward again and speak to you just for a moment. There's a person or two that he wants to bring to your attention, and then I will ask Mr. McHale to do the same. The TV people, just before we go into our recessional, would like a photo op here just for a few moments. Pat.
Thanks, Dick. Thanks, Dick. I just learned his wife Susan has been very dear to me. Someone that kept me in line when I was with the Blue Jays. Administrative assistant Fran Brown's here, and a guy who has been at times very critical of me, but I appreciate his candidness, Bob Elliott with the Toronto Sun. So thank you very much for coming.
Does it bother your television pictures if I'm talking to these people while you're taking your shots?
No.
Your sound on?
I was just wondering if we could get the gentleman to stand up there, hold on to the plaques, and we're just going to shoot them. That's okay.
Don't do me. How do you zoom? This thing? This thing on the right, top. Say hello to the camera. Take pictures of the real people.
Whose is this? Keith Davey or Eugene? I got a name tag I'm supposed to wear. I'm the only one who wouldn't wear it.
How do you turn it on? Press down that.
On the on guard of St. Mary's Ventures, just let me